Pro Wrestling Summit, motherfucker. That's what we're talking about today. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Pro Wrestling Summit Saturdays. We are back for another episode. It is Tatum. It is Knowledge. We are Pro Wrestling Summit. This show is going to be called The Climb because we are climbing to the motherfucking top. The motherfucking top. So, for those of you who listened last week, we really got in depth about Vince McMahon being fired and all that shit. You know, Ric Flair being the greatest wrestler of all time. A lot of debate about that. And you know what? After doing some fucking thinking about it, you know what? I think Knowledge is probably a little bit right. It really depends on the era because, you know, obviously Bruno Sammartino was the biggest star in like the late 60s, early 70s. And then you had like Flair, Harley Race, and then Hogan for a long stretch. And then Stone Cold. You know,
maybe
the
Rock.
With him. Yeah, I mean Triple H, like all those guys had good runs. Yep. I mean Kurt Angle could be thrown into that list as well. Yeah. I think definitely the more competent workers were in that era of wrestling. In terms of work rate and in-ring ability, I don't think that the guys in the 80s would be able to hold a candle to the athleticism of guys like Eddie Guerrero or Benoit. I know that that's like sacrilege to say, but like, fuck you. He was an incredible wrestler. What he did outside of the wrestling business, I don't know about because I wasn't there. I don't know the fucking guy's relationship. So if you don't think that he's a good wrestler because of what he did, then you're missing the point of how good Chris Benoit actually was.
I wouldn't put either of those two as like the greatest of their era, though. You know, Eddie
No. I think for that ruthless aggression era, it was perfect. I mean, those guys were perfect because they were smaller.
The Ruthless Aggression era, obviously. The Ruthless Aggression era, and then into the PG era, you have to say John Cena. It's got to be.
It's not even close, dude. Yeah. It's not even close. And I mean, obviously, Roman Reigns is at the top of the heap.
Right now, yeah.
And it's not even close. There's not another person who's even remotely in that stratosphere, I would say, in any wrestling organization anywhere in the world. I don't think that anybody can hold a candle to what that guy can do. Not only from I don't think necessarily from a wrestling standpoint, because he's not flashy. He doesn't do a lot of flashy shit. He uses a punch for a finish, like really simple shit. But the guy fucking has the ability to turn it on and make you believe.
And I feel like after that, after last week's episode, you sent me an interview that Ric Flair did where he did his Mount Rushmore of wrestling.
Oh yeah, the Chris Van Vliet interview. Yeah. Shout out to Chris Van Vliet.
And I think that's the more appropriate way to look at wrestling. It shouldn't Rushmore, be who's the best of all time, but the Mount Rushmore of wrestling.
Yeah.
Because then you can cover different eras within that.
For sure. And I mean, I think that Hogan is probably number one on that list. I mean, for me, he's the number one guy as far as I'm concerned. He turned wrestling into a household thing. Yeah. You know, I mean, you can't fucking dispute that. There's no question. Like, he is the reason why the WWF was successful. Yep. And I there totally would no be WWE without him being there and leading that charge.
I mean, if I'm doing a Mount Rushmore, it's Hogan, it's Flair, it's Austin, and it's Cena.
Oof. Where's Randy Savage?
I feel like Randy.
Too crazy?
Yeah, he got outshined by Hogan. Randy was used to elevate Hogan.
Yeah.
And his craziness, both inside and outside of the ring, kind of inhibited his ability to surpass Hogan.
Yeah, I mean, I think my biggest issue with Randy Savage is the fact that he would like have to plan matches like weeks or months in advance and like go over every small detail of the match. And I get being detail oriented, but that is not a business where you can be planning a ton of shit out beforehand, because if you're not listening to the fucking crowd and understanding what the crowd's doing, you are missing the fucking point.
Do you elevate him a little bit higher, though, because you got the first crack at Steph, or...
Wow. Lanny Poffo said that's not true. Oh, well, okay. I'm sorry. He didn't say it's not true. He said the only two people that would know if that was true, one of them is my brother who was dead, and the other one is Stephanie. That's right. So you'd have to ask one of them.
That's right.
You know, and that's probably the proper response. Like, hey, I don't know if my brother smashed out that girl when she was underage. Like,
Right.
that's kind of fucked up if he did, but who has proof of that?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Has proof.
If it happened.
Right.
I mean, there have been a lot of scandals in the WWE.
Of course. Yeah, we don't need to have even more
WWE.
scandals.
Like, we could literally do a 6-month show on just the scandals that have happened in the WWE.
100%.
But we don't need to do that because
There's
everyone
so much
already...
going on now anyway.
Yeah, dude. I mean, the Triple H era is in full effect.
Oh.
I mean, SummerSlam was a fucking crazy way to start the show. I'm a little bit upset with the lack of returns later on in the show. Like, everyone knew Edge was coming back, so like that wasn't like a big shocker to anybody.
So I'm gonna be honest with you. I wasn't gonna watch SummerSlam. I
Oh.
was not gonna watch SummerSlam because I was tired of Reigns and Lesnar.
Yep.
Nothing was really built up to excite me.
Right.
And then because it was the Triple H era, I didn't go into it thinking that the show would be completely different than McMahon show.
Right.
And yet there was a lot of differences
A
from
ton.
what McMahon show would have been. But I decided to watch it, and I didn't watch it live. I watched it after the fact.
Yep.
Because of how much hype there was about it. I needed to see if it was real.
Right.
You know, for myself.
Right.
Like, you can believe whatever anybody says, but if you don't see it with your own eyes. The fact that Bayley came back in the way she did, and she now has her own stable. I don't understand why it's Io Sky now. I don't understand why I have to change her name. Whatever. That's not
That's not important. They change everyone's name essentially when they come up to the main roster. Pete Dunne is now Butch.
Yeah,
what
I
the
hate
fuck
that.
kind of
I
name
hate
is that? Dude?
Pete Dunne just fits him. I don't understand, but regardless.
The
that's fine.
Bruiserweight? That's a
Yeah.
fucking... especially
Fantastic
for
name.
what they're doing.
Yeah.
Whatever.
You know, that was a great return. The idea of Becky having respect for Bianca Belair after their match, after everything they've been through, and being able to stand alongside of her and, you know, threaten to fight back,
Right.
you know, to fight with her. I thought that was pretty cool. I felt it was a little bit unbelievable because you have a 3-on-2 situation there, and what's preventing them from being like, okay, you both just wrestled a banger of a match, so you're both exhausted. We're going to kick the crap out of you right in the middle of this ring.
Because there has to be a payoff. What's the payoff?
Well, I just don't understand why you would get in the ring at that point, or at least have somebody else return as well.
I thought Charlotte was coming out.
that would have made sense. Then it's, you know, 3-on-3.
I think that still happens. I think Charlotte still is the third member of that thing, or at least I initially thought so before Becky was hurt and is now out. So, like, what are you going to do?
Unfortunate for her, but really fortunate timing, I feel.
Well, I mean...
For everyone else.
Well, because Becky is the star, dude. Like,
Right.
you know Becky's the star. Everybody knows Becky's the star.
And now she could be sidelined for a while. Everybody else can shine. I don't know how well... I'm a little apprehensive about how well Bayley can handle running a heel stable.
It's really difficult to... It's hard to not cheer her. You know what I mean? Like, it's even as like a person who's pretty astute when it comes to like understanding the wrestling business. I feel pretty confident that I can speak with some intelligence in this area. But I think that it's really interesting that they would present them separately and not together. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm really surprised that... And I get why they did it, because they got a pop for each of them.
Right.
So each of them got their own separate pop. So that was cool. But the entrance way too fucking long.
Yep.
Holy fucking shit.
Totally unnecessary to have
Totally
an entryway.
Dude.
And to have it, like, curve and stuff,
Yeah,
too.
dude, like, what the fuck?
If you're going to have a long entryway, just straight entryway.
Dude, Bianca Belair was blown up at the end of her entrance because she does that skipping with the fucking hair whip thing.
Yep.
And she was fucking, you could see her, she was like, whew, I'm blown up, man.
Even at the beginning of the match, you can see they kind of gave themselves a little bit of time, to give her a little bit of time to catch her breath.
You have to, man. You have to. I mean, I don't understand the long entranceway in wrestling unless I thought that something crazy was going to happen because of the long entranceway. Mm-hmm. So my initial thought was Bray Wyatt.
Yep.
Because I see a long-ass entranceway like that, and all I can envision is all the lights going out, and all the fireflies putting their lights on, and there is one light in the fucking thing, and it's the head of... that head, the head lantern that he fucking carried around. Because that shit was fire, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't give a fuck what anyone says. People can talk shit about that guy. He was hard to work with. No, that guy understood his character.
I was a huge fan of Bray Wyatt.
Even the cinematic shit I was into.
Not as big of a fan with The Fiend. Because I kind of held a grudge with The Fiend. Not... because of the character, but I felt that they didn't give Bray Wyatt a fair enough shake.
So you think he could have had an extra fair look?
I feel like he already had gold with Bray Wyatt.
He didn't need to change into the Fiend.
Right, but he did because they kept forcing him to lose, and he had to do something different. So that's why I was like, well, the Fiend is cool and all, but it shouldn't have happened because he should have been Bray,
Yeah, I mean, I think that creepy from the swamp dude with the I like the FCW Bray Wyatt. The time is on my side.
Yep.
Like, that shit is fucking creepy. Yep. And everyone's like, oh, it's Waylon Mercy from Cape Fear. And I was like... Listen, man, you can compare characters to anybody, okay? Like, I get it. He's wrestling in, like, a fucking tank top, and, like, he's got pants on, and,
Razor Ramon was fucking Scarface. I mean,
listen, we're all gonna fucking... you can make comparisons to everything. Yeah. Like, Big Boss Man was a fucking bully. He was a bully security guard who worked at a fucking prison. Exactly right. So, I mean, you were basically taking the stereotypes and using them back then.
Right. But also, Bray Wyatt's doing that when Cape Fear is no longer in the general mindset of the everyday person,
Right, so, and a lot of people have never even seen that movie. Back in the early 90s, that was a very popular movie because Nick Nolte was huge, and so was De Niro back then.
Right.
So everyone had seen that movie, and it was so creepy. And they didn't make movies like that back in the day, where they had like a real menacing... character who did time for, unspeakable crimes against people and children and fucking all this other crazy shit. But then you also have to take the human element of it, and you look at the father side of it, and you're like, as a father, what the fuck would I do?
Right.
And it really translates well into the wrestling business because however fucking people like to think of it, wrestlers, it's a movie,
It's
dude.
entertainment.
It's a fucking movie.
Right.
Okay? And that's why I never understood wrestlers who are like, nah, dude, I gotta win. And it's like, well, if it doesn't make sense for the story, then why the fuck are you gonna win?
Yeah, your numbers really matter to you all that much?
Like seriously,
the only thing
dude?
is some people do need to win, and that was my issue with Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt needed to win. He didn't need to win all the time, but he needed to win more than he did. He didn't finish off a single one of his programs on top.
Yeah, because he didn't need to as a character.
But eventually, you're not believable if you keep...
Correct.
Losing.
So that's the corner that you paint yourself in.
Right.
When you're a guy who doesn't need to win matches to keep being over, because that's what it was. He was still fucking... I mean, he was the number 2 seller in merchandise. Like, that's fucking crazy, bro.
And it's okay to not win matches if you're not winning matches by, like, disqualification. Something like that.
See, and that's the only thing that I liked about the difference between The Fiend and Bray Wyatt. Where when he was doing the fucking Mr. Rogers type shit, he would come out and, like, not really wrestle.
Yeah.
He would basically just get beat up. He would have none of that power that he got from The Fiend. But again, you're talking very supernatural. This is fucking 2020. This is 2020 at that point.
But they pulled off that supernatural stuff really well, I felt. And again, I didn't hate The Fiend. I just wish it never happened.
Yeah, I would have liked him to stay with that Bray Wyatt.
But again, because he lost every single one of his programs, and people didn't believe in Bray Wyatt anymore.
I don't think he should have ever turned face. That Matt Hardy face turn was fucking really bad. The deleter of worlds.
And that was the end of Bray Wyatt right there.
Well, it becomes a joke at that point. Like, it's not frightening anymore. Like his promos were still on point, but it's just the character... lacked sorely at that juncture.
Yeah, it's the Funkasaurus.
My God, that poor guy, man.
All of his vignettes were like, "I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna eat your babies," and all this, and then he comes out as Funkasaurus, and
we want the funk. like with dancers and shit. Like,
Terrible.
what the fuck is
Terrible.
going on? I mean, that guy is a fucking savage.
Yeah.
Like, he looks like he would literally eat you alive. He's ugly. Like, he's not an attractive dude. Like, he is a heel upon heel upon heel. And for you to make a mock... They don't know what to do with big guys.
He's done an interview and he said the only reason he danced is because Dusty told him to dance.
Well, when Dusty tells you to do something,
Well,
I mean...
because they were telling him you should dance. And he goes to Dusty and he's like, I can't dance. What should I do? And he goes... they're gonna pay you a lot of money
to go
get
dance
into the ring.
I'm gonna pay you a lot of money to go dance.
Said, I wore polka dots, and I made my polka dots sell, brother.
Which according to a lot of people was a rib,
right,
on Dusty.
Well, and
think about how he made that work.
Well, the dancing and the Funkasaurus thing was a rib on Brodus Clay, because he liked to joke around in the back. He liked to pull pranks.
So they tried to make him like...
Well, Vince saw that, and he said, well, he wants to be a funny man. Let's make him a funny man. Yeah, we did all these vignettes where he's this, like, killer, but no, let's make him a funny man.
Yeah, I think
he's a dancing dinosaur now.
Yeah, I think that's certainly the fucking... Well, not now. He's not a dancing dinosaur now. He's like the NWA world champion, I think. Or television champion. I think he's the NWA television champion.
He's definitely...
I mean, good for him, dude. Yeah. I mean, Billy Corbin running that company. Shout out to Billy Corbin, man. I like your music and your wrestling product I enjoy as well. I like the concept a lot, but I think that, if you need some help, just reach out, dude. I'll be more than happy to fucking help you out. I got some fucking ideas, dude, that would blow your fucking head off. And also, it would fucking increase your business probably fucking a millionfold, and you don't even have to make any changes to your roster.
Well, speaking of changes to the roster, I mean, we talk about, Triple H at the beginning here. Now they're talking about there's going to be all sorts of roster changes, and, you had some people coming back with SummerSlam. I complained a little bit about the Bianca Belair situation and all that because it was 3-2, but that's a very minor complaint. Like, the other match that I saw that I thought I was going to absolutely hate was the Logan Paul match.
He's fucking great, dude.
And I did hate the ending.
What did they do at the end? Right, it was a fuck finish, right? They did a fuck finish at the end. His
finisher and he pinned him. AJ came down and fought off
Ciampa. Yeah.
But the only reason why I hated it is because I didn't think that Logan Paul should have won. It's his first, it's technically second match. He's now won
he's
both matches since coming in. And I mean, if you're signing him and you're going to have him here for the long haul, have him get worked in a little bit. He's the novice against a
seasoned veteran,
former
world champion, multiple-time world champion, heavyweight champion. First Grand Slam champion in history?
First multiple-time Grand Slam champion.
Yeah, because he's won every fucking title known to man.
Yeah, so I mean, you're talking about...
Holy shit, dude. Think about that.
Technically, with the interference with AJ Styles, that does something, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like...
Well, you think it gives him an out?
I feel like The Miz could have capitalized on the interference and not Logan Paul. And that would set up something where... I want to see them go again.
Right.
But there's no reason for them to go again.
Well, it's just like...
unless they do a tag match with AJ and Logan Paul...
Yeah, but it's just like Brock Roman. I don't want to see that shit again. I'm done seeing that. Please, move on. Anything but that.
I thought that Logan Paul showcasing what he can do in a singles match was great.
Couldn't have picked a better guy to do it against.
The beginning of the match felt like the first match for a tough enough winner to have, where he's doing some basic moves at first, but then he breaks out some crazy stuff. I mean, he's doing backflips off the apron, and
I mean he's
just a frog splash through the table,
bro.
Yeah,
so athletic,
definitely.
And he's got the personality for it.
I hated Logan Paul, and this son of a bitch made me appreciate what he could do.
You can't help but fucking respect the guy.
Yep.
He doesn't fucking need to do that. It's not like the guy fucking needs the money.
Not at all.
You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, WWE's paying him a lot of money.
Of course.
But he even said it. He goes, I realized how much I love this shit, and now I'm here on a more permanent basis. I'm not just going to do per show. for big shows, like, I'm going to be around. Like, I'm going to be in the mix. And think about that. That guy has how many subscribers on YouTube?
Yeah, crazy. He's not the top guy, but I mean, he's like...
No,
right
Mr.
up the top
Beast,
10,
I think, is the top guy.
It's crazy.
I think he makes like $1 billion a year.
It's nuts.
Fucking insane, dude.
But, so that, again, another really good match with just a tiny complaint. You know, the ending of the match is not really the end of the world. It didn't ruin the match for me that Logan Paul won.
Nope.
You know, I hated Edge's return. I'll tell you that much.
Well, dude, why do you have a stage with stairs on the entranceway?
But if you're going to do all those vignettes, the big problem for you, if you're going to do the vignettes that you did where people were like, oh my God, is it Bray coming back? Is it...
Gotta tease it more.
You know, you tease it, but then you're going to come back as somebody that we've seen before?
And not like a good version of that person.
You come back as, like, Brood version of you.
But then they're calling you the Rated R Superstar. So,
Right.
like, who are you?
And the next night on Raw, he's coming out to his Edge music with the Rated R Superstar music. Like, so why all the build-up? You weren't gone that long to require a build-up to you coming back. Everyone knew you were coming back. And
you're coming back into a whack feud.
Right.
Against people who don't matter. They haven't won a match since you left the group.
Right.
They have not won a singles match or a tag team match since you left the group.
All they've done is feud with the Mysterios.
And they've got beat every night.
Yeah, so who cares? You know, like, that's my problem is there didn't need to be a build-up for Edge to come back. He could have come back the next week and been like, well, hey, you know, kicked the shit out of me, so now I'm going to hang out with the Mysterios for a little while and get my revenge, you know?
What's crazy to me is that no matter the level of talent of the guy in WWE, it's like, it feels like sometimes the more talented a guy is, the more they fuck him up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, you can't fuck up AJ Styles. Mm-hmm. They somehow have managed to make that guy an afterthought. He's like a B player.
Yeah, I mean, he's a mid-carder. How do you make AJ Styles a mid-carder?
I don't understand that, dude. That guy can go out there and have a 5-star match against anybody, any day of the week.
I mean, who brings out the best in Brock Lesnar ever?
The best in Brock Lesnar?
Brock Lesnar, since he's come back, has done formulaic matches where he will throw you around the ring, suplexing you over and over again, overpower you.
Yeah, right.
And that's the... But his AJ Styles' match with Brock Lesnar...
Yeah, it was more...
spectacular.
Yeah. Yeah.
He had Brock bumping realistically. He was throwing himself around the ring. F5'd off of his fucking forearm there.
Oh, the phenomenal forearm.
Yep. You know, I mean, great match.
Yeah. No, I mean, no doubt about it. And, I mean, think about a guy like Finn Balor, dude. I mean, talk about a guy who can wrestle anybody any night of the week, and he isn't even a mid-carder. They make him the leader of this group, and then he's doing jobs to everybody. Well, that's not how you build the fucking group or a character, man.
And the thing is, too, with that group, why did Finn have to lead that group? Why do a turn? They hadn't
why
done
not
anything
just
yet.
add him?
They hadn't done anything yet.
Why not just add him
to the group? Sure, it makes sense. They hadn't done anything yet. They won their match with against Finn and, you know, the others. They won that match. And then they decide, nope, let's kick out Edge because we just won that match. And we'll take the guy that we just beat and make him our leader.
And that is the problem with Vince McMahon's writing.
Right. So like, I get it. Triple H is booked into a corner with that one for
well, you have no way out. Like,
right.
It's already been done. They've already taken the guy off TV.
To me, the only way that could have been fixed is if when Edge came back and he goes and, you know, does the save and all that, he takes out Dominic. And it was a whole...
Swerve.
Them turning on me was actually nothing. I've been in charge of this group this entire time.
See, now I thought it was going to go that way, which I think it still might, based upon how they positioned Edge after that match. And on Monday, I believe it was Monday night, during the tag match, he gave Dominic the accidental spear.
Right.
So it's going to be interesting to see how that kind of plays out. And it may be all a ruse because Edge is fucking smart.
Yeah.
And, like, but Triple H is also smart, and he knows there's very few ways to get out of this.
Well, apparently the whole reason that they got rid of Edge from that group was because they wanted to do supernatural shit with that group, and then
Edge was like, "Nah, that's fucking stupid."
But again,
like,
that's a Vince idea, so maybe they're working on building Edge to be the leader of that group again because they don't have to do the supernatural shit.
I mean, that would be fucking cool.
Yeah. So
I mean, I could get behind that.
And to me, I will take back what I said about Edge's return in that situation if that were to come to fruition. But until then, I think it was stupid. I think there was no need for it.
No, I don't dig that. I think that return could have been done in so many fucking better ways and been done way more efficiently. And just think, dude. I mean, you got a guy, okay? Let's just say for heaven's sake, you were able to somehow get a contracted Christian to show up with Edge at SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm. That'd be pretty damn cool.
Now, there's a guy who is, he's in like a storyline, but it's not like a giant fucking storyline. But there is a guy who you can base a faction off of those two guys and have them in separate companies, and then have them work tag matches because they're both back now. E and C coming back together, dude. Think about the fucking pop that you would hear for that as heels.
It's funny that you brought up Christian though when we were talking about Edge, because that's another one that a few weeks ago taking Luchasaurus away from him, like 2 weeks after he talked about, Jungle Boy's dead father and all this. Like, taking Luchasaurus away that quickly. Again, I just don't understand the need to... Like, let's let these storylines progress. Let's not pull the trigger on this stuff so quickly. Why is Luchasaurus not trying to kill Jungle Boy under orders of Christian right
It's
now?
hot shot booking. They're trying to fucking hot shot book it. And you can't. You need to let it marinate.
What does Christian do now?
Well, he's running away from Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy every week.
So this guy that was immediately, as soon as he turned, was like the heel in the best heel in that company. You hot-shotted him, and now he's this snivelly little heel that is running away.
And now they're doing turns every week.
It's totally unnecessary.
Like Team Taz is now no longer because Powerhouse Hobbs turns on Ricky Starks. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then they're fighting on TV on Wednesday night on Dynamite. They're like fucking throwing beatings on each other. Ethan Page is like not involved with the Men of the Year anymore, I don't think, because he got involved. Now he's like got Stokely Hathaway's card. It's fucking crazy. Like, there's too much shit going on.
And I feel like they're doing all that. AEW is doing all that right now to combat the idea that Triple H is...
Correct.
But again, you're just killing your storylines by doing that.
You need to let shit marinate.
There is nothing you're going to do right now to pull eyes off of WWE. Everyone's interested because this is a huge...
It's a game-changing moment.
Right.
Shifting.
Right.
It shifts the entire landscape of wrestling.
So people who have tuned out of wrestling for a while because they were sick of the Vince McMahon style of booking, they're going to get their eyes back on WWE. They're going to get a boost in the ratings. They got a boost for SummerSlam. They got a boost for Raw.
Smackdown, I'm sure they're going to have a boost. Obviously, the numbers haven't come in yet, being Saturday, but I mean, I'm sure they're going to get a boost from SmackDown. They'll get a boost from SmackDown.
They'll definitely get a boost from SmackDown.
And AEW is languishing with their Rampage show. They can't draw flies.
Right, so nothing's going to change that immediately. And your hot shot booking is just going to hurt you in the long term.
And I think it's a gluttony of talent, man. They have too much talent, and where do you have spots for everybody?
I don't understand how you can keep scooping up talent.
All these guys can't get TV time. You know what I mean? Like, and you gotta have the champions on.
And great, brag that you have all these guys locked up to 5-year contracts. What good is a 5-year contract if you can't do anything with them?
Dude, let me ask you a fucking serious question, okay? I'm dead serious when I say this. And I mean, you've known me for a good amount of time now, dude. And I mean, you know how I feel about the wrestling business. I fucking love the wrestling business, right? And I really have an affinity for women's wrestling. I fucking really enjoy women's wrestling. I think it's killer. Can you fucking explain to me why all these women just don't fucking say fuck these main companies and just start their own fucking company?
Well, isn't there a company...
Shimmer.
No.
In the United States is like ROH's version.
There's like Women of Wrestling. It's like WOW or something like that.
Yeah.
What's her face? AJ Lee is.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's cool. I didn't even know.
She's not wrestling, but I think she's like
Oh, she's like running the shit.
I don't know if she's running, but she's like definitely got a.
Is it like Glow?
Not. I mean, basically, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's all women that are on the show. Yeah. So, I think they're starting with that, but I just don't think there's enough eyes for that.
Yeah.
Because regardless of how
people aren't
good,
interested enough in
right,
women's
regardless of how good women's wrestling has gotten,
Yeah.
unless you're going to pull,
10,000
Charlotte, and you're
right.
going to pull Ronda Rousey, and you're going to pull like.
Yeah.
These big names, you're going to get Becky, and you're going to get Naomi, and you're
Yeah,
going to get all these.
and those people are all in the contract. You're not getting any of those.
You're not going to get the eyes that is going to come.
So I see what you're saying, dude. I mean, and I'll tell you what, dude. I gotta say though, probably my favorite women's wrestler is Jade Cargill. I fucking dig the gimmick. I like her. I think it's a travesty that she does not defend her TBS championship on TBS on Dynamite every fucking week. I think that is a travesty of justice. And the reason why I think that's a travesty is because I think that competitive matches against her will elevate the challenger to her title. And then eventually when she loses the title, it is going to be a fucking giant deal.
Also, when you have a title that's called the TNT title, TBS title, sorry,
and you don't defend it on
TBS, then what's the point? That's the whole point of that title.
But the TNT title is being defended on TBS,
which makes no.
It doesn't make any fucking sense. It's backwards.
Yeah, right.
And now but I did hear something.
That's why when ECW had their television championship, it was defended every single television
because that's how it should be.
Right.
If you have a TV title, it should be defended on television.
Right.
I do like, however, how they're letting Pac go out and wrestle on the indies and defend his title.
Very interesting.
I fucking think that is cool.
Yep.
And I like how AEW is doing the commentary over these indie show footage of Pac wrestling against these indie guys with their title, because I think that really fucking goes to show, like, they're fucking not just wrestling, they're wrestling in, like, some fucking space that's got, like, 150 people in it. Like, this is fucking pretty wild.
I will like it even more when he drops it at one of these random indie shows, and then he can get it back the very next show, but he needs to drop it to show that, like, this isn't just something
that it's a surprise thing,
right.
Like, just drops it for like a minute, demands an immediate rematch, and then just fucking beats the guy.
I wouldn't even say, like, let it be a week. Whatever.
Oof.
Who cares? Let it be a week.
I mean, think of the press that you could get from that.
That indie show doesn't have another match for a week? Fine. That indie promotion doesn't have another match for a week? Whatever. So he drops it for a week. The very next week, he cashes in his rematch clause.
Yep.
And you know what? Wins it back. Fine. But I feel like that gets...
I think what would be cool, though, is if he lost it in, like, New Japan.
Yeah, that's fine, too. It doesn't matter.
Because I think that would kind of give some legitimacy to maybe a guy like Konosuke Takeshita,
mm-hmm.
like who's wrestling. He was wrestling Claudio for the fucking ROH title
mm-hmm.
on fucking next Wednesday. Yeah, this upcoming Wednesday, I think. So I think that's going to be fucking really interesting. Mm-hmm. But like, why is the ROH title being defended on AEW when you have these other titles that are not fucking being defended?
And they are so title heavy right now.
And like, and now you're gonna introduce fucking trios titles.
Yep.
And now they just filed a trademark, I guess, the other day for All Elite Women, and they're using it, so they trademarked that name, and it says in the description that they're using it for a television product.
So they're going to have their own women's only.
So I think that's what they're going to do, and I think that is going to be part of the sweetener to get the AEW ROH signed with HBO Max. And once that happens, dude, I think that ROH becomes a legitimate product because so many people have not been exposed to those early matches. The Bryan Danielsons against Christopher Daniels, the Paul Londons against Brian Kendrick, but he wasn't Brian Kendrick, he was Spanky,
right.
And Low Key and Homicide and like the Christopher Street Connection, one of my favorite fucking tag teams of all time, dude. I love the Christopher Street Connection. I don't know what those guys are doing or what happened to them, but those fucking guys were phenomenal. They played a gay gimmick, and I'll tell you what, man, they were doing stuff that still to the I honestly don't know if they were really gay or not. Like they would open mouth kiss each other
Kind of like
in the
Billy
ring.
and Chuck. No, we know that.
No, my God. They never like kissed. No, these guys would like make out in the ring with each other. So like there's like a different level of commitment, like that you have to be into, like that you're doing that at every show.
Right.
So I really don't
Especially when it wasn't as widely accepted as it
Well, like
is
think
now.
about that, dude. That's a hardcore wrestling audience in 2002.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And these guys going out there open mouth kissing with each other in the ring and like slapping their opponent's asses and like, grabbing cock and like the whole thing, and like you can't do that nowadays. Fucking people are getting Joey Ryan got canceled for using the most ridiculous finishing move of all time.
I feel like if they did it nowadays, they'd be like instant faces. You can't to make that a heel gimmick.
Oh yeah, no, you couldn't be. No, oh my God, forget it, dude. You couldn't be a heel doing that now. No way, dude. You'd be. Oh, you guys are making heels. You guys are making gay people look bad, and you're. It's so fucking ridiculous, dude. It's so ridiculous. Because it's a fucking performance art, people.
Right.
It's performance art. A lot of these people are not really these people in real life.
Right.
Like, you have to understand that, like, Bray Wyatt is a character. That's not who he certain aspects of it, sure, but that's not who he really is. Yo, Hulk Hogan is not gonna say his prayers and take his vitamins as he's injecting his fucking ass with steroids.
If you're gonna go ahead and tell me that Kane didn't actually burn his house down with
the Undertaker's parents in it, like what the fuck?
Then I just give up on life at that point. Clearly the Undertaker is a dead man, and he became a biker for a little while.
So like, do you get the thing why? Like, I understand why wrestlers take it serious. You know what I mean? Yeah. That is their profession, it's much different now. Right. It's not like that anymore. Guys don't defend the business at all anymore. If somebody says the shit's fake, like, they're like, oh yeah, dude, like,
oh, it's definitely scripted, but the physicality is
no,
it's always the same thing. Don't say we're not athletes. All right, buddy.
Well,
we get it.
What I can tell you from firsthand experience is that a guy who knows how to hurt you doesn't need to show that he knows how to hurt you.
Right.
He knows that he can hurt you in a second, and until you put him in a position to have to hurt you, he's not going to.
Right.
But if a guy wants to abuse his power a little bit, now it's different. If you're hanging out with your boys and, like, you're fucking roughhousing a little bit, that's one thing. You know what I mean? Fucking dudes roughhouse. Like, I think that's totally acceptable.
What were you going to say about the guys defending the business or something like that you were talking about?
Yeah, so that's what I'm getting to, motherfucker.
Just why don't they do it today?
Yeah, that's what the fuck I'm saying.
Oh, I'm sorry, I lost it there.
So, like, I don't understand, like, why don't they... Why, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you told a wrestler that, if you went up to a wrestler back in the day and was like, oh, your shit's fucking fake, buddy, do you think that Roddy Piper would have let you fucking say that shit and not do something to you?
I honestly feel like it's the internet wrestling community and the fact that kayfabe is dead.
Oh yeah, 100%. That shit doesn't exist anymore.
Well, that's why they don't defend it as much anymore.
Well, I shouldn't say it doesn't exist anymore because obviously MJF is fucking doing a tremendous job of keeping up kayfabe.
I mean,
people are saying they haven't been in contact with them.
I'm almost starting to get on the side of I don't know if it's a.
So you were on the thing of this is a work 100%, and now you're like, well, this motherfucker hasn't been on TV in like 3 months.
It's been months now. Yeah, it's been 3 months.
It's been like 3 months since the guy's been on TV.
Unless there's an injury, why do you keep a guy like that off for 3 months?
I mean, they got to be either they're telling a long-term story or it's a shoot.
Right.
But the fact that even Tony Khan would allow somebody to go on television and say that type of shit about him and have it not be a work.
I don't know if it didn't start off as a work and because of the way
because of how it went,
he was like, well, this is unacceptable now. Because once you get heat like that from your network,
it's a different ballgame.
Yeah.
It becomes it's hurting your money.
Right.
And
so now it's
that.
like, well, the line was crossed, and the network just
was it?
Dropping F-bombs and stuff like that on the show. But when advertisers and stuff like that,
I get
involved. So I don't know. Maybe
you
it started off as
Mark, fire me, you fucking Mark.
So once I think they let him go out there and said, hey, go out, do
pipe bomb moment.
Yeah. And then when he took it a step too far, they said, hey, we were gonna do this, but we're losing out on money, and we're gonna lose out on advertising if we have you on. So
I don't know how you keep a guy on the shelf like that. I mean, I get for like a month.
It could be because they're still waiting
to contract this fucking thing out and like see what they're gonna fucking
and say, hey,
do.
we're gonna bring this guy back, and he won't go off like that again.
Yeah, but that takes the whole element of being a great heel out of it, because that's not fair. You're limiting a guy.
I really think it's just the language. I think they can say, hey, we understand the language.
No F-bombs? Okay, fine. Like, no problem.
But I think they need to have him off TV for a while to forget about everything that happened there. And then go back to the advertiser and say, we're bringing him back.
Yeah.
He won't drop these words, but he's still going to be controversial.
I honestly thought that there was going to be a thing with Seth Rollins where MJF's music was going to hit. That
That'd have been cool.
And him come walking out, and I'm going to tell you something right now. Out of my seat, I would have came, and I would have been like, this is fucking great! What the fuck is going on? And Cody comes walking out with him, holds his robe at ringside.
That would have been great. That would have been fantastic.
But Triple H might be the guy to fucking get that done.
Yep.
He's got friends. He's got friends on both sides.
Instead, it was kind of a disappointing thing with Seth and
Riddle with the
a little bit disappointing there. I think the night ended off really well with Reigns and Lesnar.
I don't mind hokey wrestling from time to time, but in the World Heavyweight Championship match, you have a guy drive a tractor down to the fucking ring and lift up the fucking ring with the deal. Like, I like how he did his ring entrance. Like, I thought that was cool, how he jumped in the thing, brought it down to the ring, had the fucking thing above the ring.
Yeah.
Did you see Roman Reigns' catch of the microphone?
Oh, that was awesome.
He winked right at him after he did it. I was like, oh, my man, bro. Yeah. I love that guy. Yeah. But when he got back into the tractor at the end of the match, I'm like, dude, I'm fucking so done with this.
The reason why I was okay with it is because this is the last match that those two will have, and they've done
hopefully ever.
Yeah, I know. They've done so much shit already, though, that you gotta do some big, ridiculous thing.
But who's the next guy?
Well, I mean, right now it's Drew McIntyre. That's the next guy, which makes no sense. How do you book? Why Drew McIntyre? Oh, well, it's Clash at the Castle, and McIntyre has a sword, and that's kind of like UK royalty stuff. It's like he's like King Arthur,
Scotland and
so
and England are two different places.
But I mean, they don't care. They don't realize
they think that it's all the same fucking place.
They're like, people will associate castle with like king and sword. And
I have one question before we get too far into this that I wanted to ask you before and I didn't ask you. Can you explain to me what was going through Tony Khan's mind when he said, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna name this the All Atlantic Championship, and it can be defended in Japan,"
and to have Japan on, like, I just
what the fuck? I said you got. Has this guy ever fucking looked at a globe, like, bro, or a map? It says it right on the fucking map. That is not the ocean. I'm like, what the fuck? I understand that you make it the all continental.
Yeah, sure, right.
Something like that. Not intercontinental, all continental. Make it the all world. Make it the fucking, I don't know, the best of the best title.
Right.
Whatever, fucking.
All promotion champion. Something,
Yeah, whatever, dude.
Whatever.
Fucking something.
Just don't call the All Atlantic title and then
defend it in Japan.
and have Japan on the title. It doesn't. It just like.
That was a fucking facepalm moment for me, dude.
But yeah, I totally.
I did want to ask you that because you being the knowledge guy, I was like, this guy is gonna have a fucking answer for me.
It hurt so much when I saw that, and what can you do though? I mean, the world is stupid.
But I get it, dude. The Clash at the Castle thing, I totally fucking get it. Like, I get why they're putting Drew McIntyre. He's the only one.
I don't get it.
Who else?
No, I'm fine that it's going to happen. Why do you announce it? With no build-up, with no, he hasn't been in the title picture for a while. He's been doing his thing with Sheamus. Why does he get a title shot? What gives him the right to a title shot? It's not like in AEW where they're supposed to have, this point system and that would make you the next in line or whatever. There's no reason why you're the next in line.
Why doesn't Seth have the title shot?
Why doesn't he? He has no storyline right now with Riddle gone, with Cody gone. Why doesn't he get a title shot?
Dude, that could...
Because he's a heel?
It doesn't matter in today's landscape. No one cares about face or heel anymore.
Right, but I'm saying,
Roman's the face. I mean, regardless of what anyone says, dude, that guy gets fucking cheered.
We're talking about the best and most consistent wrestler in the last 5 years.
He puts on clinics. Dude.
Why would you not give him a shot?
Dude, heel versus heel for the title, Reigns and Rollins. Dude, former Shield members. Dude, there are so many things that I would build around that. My whole company base would be built around that.
And with Seth Rollins' ability to get into his opponent's heads, the amount of stuff you can do.
Think about what him and Heyman would do on a microphone, dude.
Oh, that was another big thing that I was really appreciative of during that Reigns and Lesnar match.
What's
that? Paul Heyman finally got his comeuppance. If Lesnar's done, then Paul Heyman getting his comeuppance and getting an F5 through the table, that was a pretty cool moment for me.
I mean, I feel bad for old Paul.
No, I do too, but you know what? He understands what...
He gets the business, dude. He gets it. He understands there's a time and a place for everything.
And he has screwed over Brock. He's betrayed him. He's come out and distracted him for losses and stuff. I mean, it makes sense that Brock, as the face right now, needs to get his hands on you in that last blow-off match, and you get what's coming to you.
Now, I have a question about a guy who they signed, right? Because I want to talk about the tryouts that happened over SummerSlam weekend.
That they said was a shit show.
Abysmal. They said it was abysmal. And I'm going to tell you why. Because they have athletes who don't give a fuck about the wrestling business and are looking for a paycheck.
Yes.
And they're like, oh, I can be on TV. And a lot of the people are like, oh, I can do other things because I could be the next Rock. Mm-hmm. And it's like, he's one of one, dude. Yep. Like, they don't make guys like him and Cena. Like, those people are not...
And even Cena, Cena hasn't gotten into the movie industry like The Rock has yet. He's working his way there. But... I mean, you can't say that Cena's on the same level as The Rock is when it comes to being
considering The Rock's getting $60 million a movie,
right?
Fucking stupid money,
right?
And he can do anything. He'll do a Disney movie. He'll do an action flick. He'll do a fucking love story, and none of it is out of place.
Right?
None of it is out of place for him. Cena kind of has a niche. He's that funny, jacked up, nerdy, white dude. Yeah. I liked him in that that movie where they played their kid. He was a parent. Their kids were going to college.
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck? I really enjoyed that. He did a butt chug in the movie. That was actually fucking kind of funny. John Cena.
He also did a movie with Amy Schumer that his
Trainwreck or something, right? I didn't see that.
That movie is god awful, but his scenes in it were pretty good.
I saw the only scene that I have seen from that movie is him in the movie theater.
Yeah.
I will fuck your ass.
I will fuck your ass. Just leave it alone. He's a fucking ass. I will fuck your ass.
Yeah, dude, that shit's fucking crazy. But I'll tell you what, that guy said that shit to me, I'd be like, bro, I believe you. I fucking
believe
totally believe you, bro. I am totally you are fucking a giant human being, bro.
Yeah.
Your arms are the size of my fucking head.
Yeah.
That don't make no sense to me. It does not compute.
So, but the tryouts though, I mean, like
oh my god, the fucking tryouts! What a fucking shit show.
I mean, I just don't understand. I understand why they're giving these guys a shot at it, and maybe they're trying to build some legitimacy of their own form of entertainment by saying, look, these pro athletes, they can't just come in and do this. Like, yes, sure, they're athletes, but it's a different kind of training. It's a different kind of, ring shape.
I don't think they found anybody.
Right.
3 days of fucking tryouts, dude. They didn't find one person.
And the shame is, they're letting these athletes come in and do this, and that's kind of taking up spots from
NXT,
and it's taking up spots from legitimate indie guys who are like, I could get a shot at trying out here.
So that brings me to my other question. It brings up the NIL program that they have, the Next in Line program. Where the fuck is Gable Steveson? The guy's an Olympic champion. He's the best wrestler in the world. Legitimately the best wrestler in the world. And where is this fucking guy? He comes on TV, does a half-hearted arm raise with Stephanie McMahon, and then his brother's on TV. Damon Kemp is his brother. He does the NXT. He's in that fucking faction, Diamond Mine.
Yep.
Which is a fucking joke.
Yep.
They've turned that into a fucking farce. They're like, oh yeah, yeah, bro, right on. I'm like, dude, these fucking guys were murdering people.
Right.
Like, what the fuck happened to that? These guys are amateur wrestlers. They don't have personalities. Why are you trying to make guys who don't have personalities have them?
I mean, it's like Team Angle, I mean...
Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas don't have personalities either. Like, why are you...
And they didn't, for a while, when they were just Team Angle and it was a little...
They
didn't have personalities.
Right, and then they tried to, make them funny. It's not funny.
It's not funny.
Those guys are built to kill.
Right.
Those amateur wrestlers who have wrestled at a high level, like in college. I'm not talking about if you fucking wrestled at some low-rent high school.
No.
That doesn't mean shit. I'm talking if you went to, a serious, if you went to a serious college with a serious wrestling program, you are a different fucking human being. Because that shit takes a different level of...
Eat, sleep, and drink it.
Dude. It creates...
This is your life.
There's no off-season in that, dude, because you have to maintain.
And you legitimately go there to hurt somebody.
Yes. It's your job to fucking not only pin somebody's shoulders to the mat, but try to do it in the most vicious and violent way possible. Yep. So those people are built differently. So I'm going... What? Where the fuck is this guy?
Why is it becoming a joke? Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense.
Is it going to be... Is he the next Veer Mahan?
Why?
Am I going to see fucking 26 weeks of vignettes for this? Fucking Gable is coming. Well, there's already a Gable on your show. So what do we do about that? Let's talk about that first. What the fuck do you do about that? You can't do nothing. You can't change Chad Gable's name now. Chad Gable is his name.
They don't call him Chad Gable. They call him Gable, right? Didn't they change his name to just Gable?
Well, yeah, because they have a thing for first names, Theory, and fucking all this other shit. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
I don't understand.
That's Vince McMahon for you right there, dude.
Yeah.
We gotta change it, pal. We gotta get down to one name. I want a 2-syllable name for that son of a bitch, pal.
Still better than Shorty G, but I mean,
See, but at least that's marketable. At least I can fucking get behind that. And you have a guy coming into your fucking organization, and his name is Gable Steveson, and he's the greatest wrestler to ever live.
Oh, they'll call him Steve.
Now introducing the greatest wrestler in the world, Steve. I really fucking hope they don't do that, dude. That would be fucking terrible.
Fucking monkey from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, Steve.
Oh no, I don't know. I've never seen that. What is that? Is that a kids movie?
Yeah,
I feel that's like a fucking kids movie,
it's
right?
A kids movie.
Is it alright though?
No.
Is it like Up?
Garbage.
Because Up fucked me up.
No, Up was a good one.
Yeah, you liked Up.
Movie.
Yeah, I don't.
Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs was really.
What'd you think about No Holds Barred with Hulk Hogan and Zeus? Big fan?
Oh yeah, huge. Thought it was a perfect way to build to a WrestleMania match.
Okay, yeah, great. All right, that's how we're ending this podcast. This fucking guy doesn't know what he's talking about. I don't think he's going to be welcome back on the wrestling podcast. Well, this has been Pro Wrestling Summit Saturday. It has been The Climb. We are here. This is Tatum. That is fucking Knowledge. We're fucking out of here, man. This has been fucking another great Saturday. We killed it about fucking Triple H and all the new shit that's going on, all the fucking crazy shit that's happening in the wrestling world. Tune in to Welcome to the Zoo coming back on Monday, and then another Pro Wrestling Summit podcast next Saturday. That's going to be The Descent, since this one was The Climb. Next one is going to be The Descent. You can all go fuck yourselves. Have a good day. Bye.